situation, and when I look at the news, if your heart goes out, that's wonderful, because that means you're in tune, you're in touch. When you send energy, positive energy, life, love, healing energy to that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be with you this morning. And I bring greetings and love from Reverend Dr. Barbara Cunningham, because I called her yesterday to see if she would want to ride out with me this morning. But her son, Dane, is here from the Dominican Republic. So she is in another world right now. So we're just celebrating her on this Mother's Day and knowing that all is well. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Everyone, male and female alike. Any person who has ever carried a child in their arms, who's ever carried a child in their heart, who ever carried a child in their dreams, you're a mother. You have that nurturing energy and spirit within you. And so I say Happy Mother's Day to each of you, and I salute the divinity in each and every one of you. My topic today is Mother, the divine energy, divine feminine energy. And I want to just talk a minute. I kind of want to do two sides of this, if you will allow me. The physical side, and then we want to talk about the metaphysical side, where we get to that divine feminine energy. But Mother's Day brings up more emotion than any other day of the year. We have those who are overjoyed and so thankful for the mother that they have or had. We have those who are still in grief because mother has transitioned. We have those who are somewhat resentful. We have some that actually say they hate their mother. And my heart goes out to them because there's so much they don't understand. And the first thing I want to say is, being a mother is not easy. I have 3 children, 3 individual people who are nothing alike. And you dance with these energies as a mother. What works for one doesn't work for the other. One is so sweet and docile and does everything you say, then the other one challenges you to the max. Okay? How about I find out one Thanksgiving, everybody's sitting around laughing and talking at the dinner table, that my 13-year-old, my middle child, used to sneak my car and drive up and down Candler Road with some of her buddies. Oh, I could laugh about it at the dinner table. It wasn't funny, the thought. And I looked at my oldest daughter and I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" She said, "Mom, I was so scared. I didn't know whether I was more afraid that if I told you, you'd kill her, or I was more afraid that she was gonna have an accident." She was panicking because this middle child is off doing her thing. And she has challenged me on every level. If I said turn right, she turned left. Even if she wanted to turn right, she would go left, just because I said turn right. Like I said, we laugh about it now, and she's a mother now. And she's got a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, so all the fun times are coming, baby. I see it coming. And the 15-year-old's got a permit and driving, that's all, yeah, payday's coming. But the difference also is I have 2 girls and I have a son. 2 girls are older. 2 girls are 2 years apart. They're 12 and 14 years older than my son. My girls were raised by me, who was raised as a Baptist, as a young mother. My son was raised as a New Thought child at Hillside. I was a different mother. Not that I was a bad mother, but I was a different mother. I was a different mother because I didn't know when I had the girls the things that I knew when I had my son. Oh, I didn't know that I could really speak to him in my womb and affirm for him in my womb. And I didn't get a chance to do that for my girls. Oh yeah, I wanted good things for them, but I didn't know that I could do that. And even some of the ministers at Hillside at the time, Reverend Randy, as a matter of fact, laid his hands on my belly and prayed for my baby that had not been born yet. I was a different mother. Not that I was a bad mother, not that I wanted to treat one child differently than the other. I could only do based on my level of consciousness, my level of understanding, and where I was at each point in time in my life. And that's what we have to understand about mothers. Maybe you didn't have the best childhood or relationship with mom. She did the best she could with what she knew and what she understood at the time. So we bless mom, wherever she is, on this side of the universe or on the other side. We bless her. We don't get caught up in and hold on to all of that negative. And my flower is so beautiful. Just a little bit of Mother's Day trivia. This was an idea of Anna M. Jarvis, who suggested the national observance of Mother's Day because her mother had transitioned and she loved her mother, and she had her mother's memorial service on May 10th, 1908. And she gave a carnation to everyone who came to the memorial service. And if you've been raised, especially in the traditional church, you know you wore a red flower if your mother was alive, you wore a white one if your mother had transitioned. And this stemmed from the idea, and still carries through to today, that this is what this woman wanted to do. And then in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed National Mother's Day, second Sunday in May. So that's why, or that's how we came to celebrate Mother's Day. But it's a wonderful observation. And it's a chance for us to grow. So if there's anyone that's watching me right now who has that challenge with the idea of not having a good relationship with mom, I'm going to suggest to you today to let it go, to do some healing. Our whole purpose on this earth plane is to grow and expand our consciousness and expand our awareness and become like that Christ within, that it's in there, but it doesn't always show outwardly. But we want to be more Christ-like. We want to love unconditionally. And all of that benefits us. And to those, I'd like to also say, your family of origin, your mom, your dad, were divinely chosen for you to bring the lessons you needed to learn on this particular journey. We came through who we came through because there was something in that family, something in that relationship that we needed to learn and something we needed to teach. So we have to kind of get beyond that physical thing and realize there's something spiritual in there. And we want to take that time to grow. And I understand being left and being rejected is devastating Believe me, I know. I have seen that experience. I've seen people who have experienced that. And I've seen the trauma that it caused them. And I see how it showed up in their life. Believe me, I'm not downplaying that. Not one iota. But I want to tell you this. We have a choice in this moment, this particular day. And maybe for some, this day isn't quite it just yet. Maybe it's going to be in the weeks to come or the years to come. But we have to use our power and our energy in a positive way. Now, we have a choice in all of life, in every situation, every circumstance you're faced with, you have a choice. We can choose to use our power, which is our spiritual faculty for the month, our energy to repeat and recycle the pain, or to take a step forward toward freeing ourselves. It's a choice. We got to give up all the hope for a better yesterday. Yesterday is over. There's no power in the universe that's going to change yesterday. One of my favorite sayings that I know you all probably heard me if you heard me speak, yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is the only cash you have. Spend it wisely. So wishing you mom had done something different, baby, it's not gonna happen. But today, you can choose to be free. Because today, you're making the choices for your life. Mom is not making the decisions any longer. It's up to you. And another thing I want to suggest to you, instead of us thinking about ourselves all the time as human beings, we'll say that, and then if we want to get a little metaphysical, say a human being having a spiritual experience, which means absolutely nothing to us. When it really comes down to it, we're a human being and we're dealing with all this human stuff. But I'd like to suggest that we think of ourselves as energy beings. Stop calling yourself a human being and call yourself an energy being, because everything in this universe is energy. And everything that happens to us and comes to us or goes away from us is based on energy. So if you discover an energy leak, let's focus on only what's essential to help you recover your energy. And if you got negative feelings about mom, you got a major energy leak. And we've got to do what we can do to recover that energy. Do all that's necessary to support your energy body. So release the unfinished business and let's forgive. Whatever personal changes are necessary for the healing to take place, those specific changes you make are not so much important how you make them, but the fact that you make them. Because for each of us, it's going to be different. How you release, how I release is not going to be the same, and that's fine. All that matters is that we release anything that is not serving us, anything that is not causing us to grow. When we choose to keep our past more alive than the present, we interfere with the flow of our life force through our body temple. We distort the present because we're viewing everything from what happened yesterday instead of what's happening today, right here, right now. And it weakens our body and our spirit. And if we hold on too long, we set ourselves up for disease in our body. So let's move to forgive. So anybody that's listening today, I want to just say a little affirmation, if you will. And I want you to take it in if it applies to you. Even if it's not mom, anybody that you need to forgive today, anybody that drains your energy, yanks your chain, pushes your button, anybody that you need to release, let's do that today. And listen, as I read, I choose to forgive myself and everyone else in the world. I choose to forgive all negative aspects of my life as I perceive them. If there's anyone or anything I cannot forgive, I forgive my unforgiveness and ask the Holy Spirit to forgive through me. I choose to be free of any and all resentment. And so it is. So we let it go and move on and realize when we talk about this divine feminine energy, and the reason why I say Happy Mother's Day to everyone is because we all have that divine feminine energy within us. You, me, all of us. Divine feminine energy is an energy which means it cannot be seen or heard, but it can be felt. The divine feminine is one half of the whole, and the divine masculine is the other half. And together they create harmony and balance. This sacred spiritual energy that exists within all of us, and we embrace it, and we find the strength to express our softness, express that softer side of us, and be okay with it, regardless of how we label ourselves, whether our gender is male, female, or however, whatever description we use. We want to feel that softness within us. When we talk about the two energies, male energy is direct and projects outward with decisive, positive action. It secures, strengthens, and has a giving nature. Female energy, on the other hand, is cyclical. It's directed inward, it nurtures, it assures, it has a receiving nature. And the traits of the divine masculine include logic, reason, action, firmness, survival, loyalty, adventurousness, strength, and rationality. Meanwhile, the divine feminine encompasses intuition, nurturing, healing, gentleness, expression, wisdom, patience, emotions, and flexibility. Can you see the balancing of those energies, creating a beautiful being with all of those qualities inherent in them? Even our brain, the left side of our brain is, when we think about it, it's more logical, analytical, it's for reasoning, and it's for language, and it's associated with the male energy. While the right side of our brain is more artistic, more spiritual, and is responsible for addressing one's emotions. So therefore it's related to the feminine. The divine feminine is what allows us to just be. It's powerful, loving, caring, allows faith, trusting deep inner knowing and higher intuition. It allows us to take time with our observations. The divine feminine discovers her way from the inside, feeling wisdom, love, freedom from within. It's magnetic and attracts everything it wants. Think about that. You ever had a gut feeling? That's your divine feminine, whether you're male or female. Guys have it as well. They get a gut feeling that they should do this or they shouldn't do that. And reacting to it, that's your divine feminine. So as we move through this experience, we know that there are times when we have those ideal situations with the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but there's also the wounded feminine. The feminine energy, when it's not in its full power or has been subjected to trauma, demonstrates desperation and neediness. The divine masculine is what allows us to take decisive action. But when it's the wounded masculine, it's aggressive or angry instead of based on love and faith. The divine feminine's knowledge, she receives intuitive wisdom with openness. And we know this we see this every day in our human experience. Women tend to be intuitive. They're in tune with that feminine side of themselves. Men, however, have had the challenge of growing up being told, don't do this, because that's not what men do. That's not what boys do. They were blocked from feeling their feelings. They were taught to stuff it down and shove it in. Well, now it's time to let it go and not be afraid of it. What it's going to do is balance you out. And I don't know if any of you have read anything by Dr. Joseph Dispenza, but he talks about thoughts are the message of the brain, while feelings are the message of the body, or the expression of those two. But if you listen to any New Thought person and they talk to you about manifesting something, they talk to you about your mind and your heart aligning. They're talking to you about that divine masculine energy in your brain, your thinking, along with that divine feminine energy coming from your heart, your feeling nature. And if you want to have a manifestation in your life quickly and manifest it, the more you can elevate that divine feminine within you, the more you can feel it, the more that magnet draws it to you. Think about it. Anything that you did and you got excited about it, or you wanted to do it, or you were determined to do it, you had some real feeling about it, did it not manifest? It manifests a lot quicker than some of the other things that you had in your head that you wanted to manifest, but it's still not showing up yet. Until you connect that mind and that thought with that feeling, that divine masculine with that divine feminine, it's a struggle. But when the two are connected, oh, it's happening. Change is taking place. Manifestation is taking place. Healing is taking place. It's happening when you can bring those two energies together. And so when we think about these energies, we think about our lives and what goes on. And as I said, all of the qualities that the mother has are in the men and in the women. The male, the masculine, female, feminine. But we want to increase it in our experience. Both of us, male and female, masculine and feminine, we want to increase that energy. We want to harmonize that energy, that intuitive energy that women have. Wouldn't it be wonderful, guys, if you could kind of pick up, you get that signal, it's like that radio signal traveling through the air. The minute you walk in the room, you sense everything and you read it. Pretty cool. Heart-centered, compassionate, love. Love is the greatest power in the universe. When we look at a situation, when we look at the news, if your heart goes out, that's wonderful, because that means you're in tune, you're in touch, and you send energy, positive energy, light, love, healing energy to that situation, to that circumstance. I was looking at Oprah interviewing Viola Davis the other day. And, oh my goodness, you're talking about powerful and moving your heart to think that she went through all that she went through at that stage of life. I mean, you know, if you grew up when I grew up, maybe I could see, you know, having to live like that. But to think that someone had to live through that hardship and be hungry for more days than they were full, and, you know, live in a place where there's no hot water, and you're in a place where the climate is extremely cold, and the cold freezes the pipes and you can't even get the cold water. My goodness. My goodness. But she's overcome that. But there had to be a connection between her divine masculine and her divine feminine. And she's still, in my personal opinion, she's still healing. That's some deep stuff to be healing through and for, and whatever the case may be. But as we look at ourselves, there are ways that we can kind of stimulate, if you will, and things that we should do or try to be in tune with. And Ife did a real good rundown on kind of self-love and taking care of you, because that's one of the steps. If you can just do things that gratify you, not selfishly, but things that relax you, a walk in nature. And I know you all had, Jada, I saw you all, and is it Karen? I know Karen, who does the nature walks and all the hiking back there, I see on Facebook. That puts you in touch with nature. That grounds you. All of that, the earth, the trees, that's Mother Nature. All of nature, when we see it, especially now, springtime, and all the beautiful flowers, that's the divine feminine energy. Let that energy work in you so that you bloom like the flowers are blooming. Let that work in you. It also stimulates your creativity. The feminine woman is the seat of creativity. Eve is the mother of all of us. Women are that creative being. But when we get in tune with that divine feminine within us, men can be as well. And you ever seen women work? Some of them have a challenge, but for the most part, women work and they get things done. They decide how it's going to be, and when they lay it all out, it is beautiful. That collaborative energy, that creative energy, and they're in touch with their body and in tune with their body. And that's not a bad thing, because if you're really in tune with your body, if there is something going on, if it is out of balance, you notice it immediately. I just had my physical a couple of weeks ago, and the doctor was talking to me, and I said, I'm very in tune with my body. I stay in tune with my body. And when I see something that is not working well, then I immediately know there's something. Hey, Spirit trying to tell you something here, girlfriend. You need to do some checking. You need to see what's going on here. Let's see how this is going for a day or two, but we ain't gonna leave this lingering. I learned that the hard way though. Okay, but nevertheless, it's that intuitiveness within you that speaks to your body temple. Embrace your sensualness, not sexuality, sensuality. And what I mean by that, your feeling nature, how you feel about things, how even a meal makes you feel. If you're in the state, how a big juicy prime rib would be with a baked potato, a little sour cream and butter. You know, just enjoy, learn to enjoy things that you do. If you play in the dirt, enjoy playing in the dirt, digging in the garden, planting your flowers, seeing them bloom, seeing your tomatoes grow, whatever it is. Be sensual about it. Feel it. You waxing your car, wash the car and shine it up. Feel it and feel good about how you're going to look good sitting in that car when it's all cleaned up, shining and going down the road. Be more in tune and be more in the present moment in life. Be here, be present, whatever it is you're doing, be there, enjoy it. And then if it's something that feels a little uncomfortable or doesn't, affirm, this came to bless me. This came to bless me. And I'm not going to turn it loose until it does.
I'm on that.
See, that's what Jacob said when he was wrestling with the angel. He said, oh yeah, you're going to bless me. And I'm not going to turn you loose till you bless me. So whatever it is, if it doesn't look and feel, oh, say you came to bless me. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't care how you're going to do it because I know God's in the midst of it, but I'm looking for my blessing and I'm giving thanks now. Be sensual, feel things, get into it. Love you. I watched Effie up here while the music, she was into it. She was dancing, she was doing her, she was into it, she was feeling it. And that's okay to be you. To feel. We've been taught by society to close down. We got to have this facade. We got to have this business look. We got to have a certain way that we act at a certain place. Be you and enjoy life. And be delighted that you are you. Be delighted that you are you. You're a divine gift, a miracle of God. And there is no one in this universe with all these billions of people like you. You're unique. You're divine. We got to step into our power. There's too much going on in the world right now. And it's not all pretty. And truthfully, it's that I'm not going to call it divine masculine energy. It's masculine energy that lost its way. It's that wounded energy. But we can bring it back into balance. You think that maybe you can't do anything about Ukraine. Yet you can. You know how? You bring about balance in you. You bring about balance in your situation. You bring about balance in your environment. Remember I said we're energy beings. That energy vibrates, that energy moves. It doesn't stay just where you are. It goes out from you and it touches others and it moves throughout the universe. They tell you about science experiments where animals on one island in the country, in the world, do something and animals thousands of miles away start picking it up and doing the same thing. It's that energy that's moving through the universe. So yes, you can make a difference. Yes, you can change things by that divine energy in you. And when we get this divine feminine energy and this divine masculine energy and balance and harmony, oh, we can bring about some change, people. The world is looking for us. All these new thought, true students. It's time for us to show up, not in word, in action, in thought, in feeling, so that we bring about that change. Because we are capable. Another way to tune into that divine feminine energy is through journaling. Now, I know a lot of women do journaling, but I haven't heard many guys talk about journaling. But maybe that's something you can do. Just get up in the morning and maybe not even call it journaling. Just take 2 or 3 sheets of paper and just write the thoughts, feelings, everything that flows out of you for those 2 or 3 pages. And just start seeing what's coming up. And maybe there's something you need to shift. Maybe there's something you need to adjust. Maybe there's something you need to release and let go. Maybe there's something you need to move toward even more. When you just let it flow, It comes up out of the inner parts of you. And you get a chance to look at it and see. And then check your dreams. Now, I know women, from the women that I've associated with, a lot of them do that. They check their dreams. They like, okay, I was dreaming about this. Men, check your dreams. See what they're trying to tell you. Dreams have a lot of symbolism in them. And then me time, that's kind of like that self-love. But that me time, I mean for you and the spirit within you. Sit down, meditate, pray, be still. If it's only for 15 or 20 minutes a day, be still and know. Get that in tuneness. Tap into your inner being. And do that before you move. Before you act, just get still for a minute and say, Spirit, what is it that you would have me to do? How can I do this? What can I do? How can I make this better? So that's that divine feminine energy within each of us that we want to develop and get it to work with our divine masculine. And, this is Mother's Day, and I have my white flower. Thank you, LT365, for my beautiful corsage. I can't tell you when the last time I had a corsage on. But my mother has transitioned, and she was with me until 2020, and she was just 15 days short of being 103. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that I had that time. And I still miss it. And I'm going to say I'm an energy being now, but that other being that starts with the H that I talked about earlier, I wanted her to stay. Still wanted her here, but she's gone on. But I look in the mirror, guess what? I see her. When I look at myself, I told my daughter the other day, I said, every day I look in the mirror, I look more like Selma. She said, you've been looking like her. And I told Eve today, because Jada had put my flower, we put it over here because I had my pen over here, so we flipped it around. But this is Mom, because I said to myself, okay, Phil, you had something purple in there. Let me go see what you had in the jewelry that I could pin on and remember her. But in closing, I want to do this because this is something, a poem that my mother memorized and used to recite. My mother and her younger brother, both of them were into readings and reciting, and they would learn it and recite it they would memorize it and recite it. I'm not there. So I'm going to read it to you, but it's something that she used to read and recite. It's called Being the Mother of a Black Child by Mona Lake Jones. Being the mother of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You gotta call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. They said you were what? That word is out of style. Next time they call you names, just raise your head and smile. Tell them that you're proud of the color of your skin. What counts is not the outside wrapping, but the character within. Being the mother of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. Sometimes I lay in bed way late at night and ask God, am I doing this thing right? Have I given them direction? Do they know which way to go? Have I overdone it just a bit? But do they really know? They can't do just half a job and barely pass the test. They have to go beyond the call and be the very best. Lord knows I've been to school 1,000 times or more. Every time the teachers look up, I'm standing in the door. But someone's got to help folks understand how smart black children are and expect them not to fail, but to reach for a star. Being the mother of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. I used to put the children down between my legs to brush a kinky head. I'd be preaching and teaching and hoping they were listening to what I said. Because I told them there would be those who would tug and pull and grin and flaunt their evil ways, tempting them to sin. Because of being black, some would give them little chance to win this game of life, and oftentimes would be so hard and hours filled with strife. They were going to have to learn to get down on their knees and pray and understand, although we may not be listening, God hears everything they say. Being the mother of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. For those who have raised them up or are in the process now, you surely deserve to stand and take yourself a bow. But don't think the task is over and that your job is through, because now you got to reach down and help a mother who may be struggling just like you. You must let her know that that little black girl or boy will do so many things to fill the heart with joy. Help her realize the good they bring will far surpass the tears, and that they will soon be looking back, thanking God for all the happy years. Yes, being the mother of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. And so it is. So it is.